in the Shire and join other liberty lovers who are getting active to achieve a voluntary society. Whatever you do, don't be bored. I truly believe this is the most exciting time we could have possibly hoped to be alive.
That you guys have got. Of course, like, you just sat through a 90-minute movie, so if you use the bathroom or whatever, like, please go ahead. But yeah, I see a hand.
Did you come to New Hampshire with the intention of getting arrested, or did that just sort of happen and you said, okay, let me go with this?
Okay, so just so everyone can hear, the question was, did I move to New Hampshire with the intention of getting arrested? Or did that just happen and I went with that? Is that what you're asking? So I was inspired to move to Keene specifically because of the civil disobedience that happens here. Because people like Penn Jillette endorse, you know, what's going on in Keene. I didn't expect to get arrested. My first arrest was, as you saw, filming in the court after a demo got arrested. All I wanted to do was capture what was happening, and so I was surprised that I was arrested. Of course, you heard me say, no, I've got work today, this isn't happening. But yeah, so once it happened, I just had to go with it, because I knew I got ready for trial and everything. I had to be ready to answer for my crimes. So yeah, that's something I just sort of went with once it fell into my lap. Hey.
Yeah. With applicants for the police department around the country being turned down for scoring too high,
yeah.
do you think the future of the police is to be boorish or bully type?
Yeah, well, it seems like, you know, I've had law enforcement in my family, so I'm not like extra biased or anything, but yeah, I would say that's their old school method and their new school method. There's nothing new there. Hey!
Hi. Did your acts change anything with the way that things operate in Keene, with the way that the courts operate, with the way that the police operate? I mean, do you think that it had some kind of effect at any point? Do you think that it's made people think?
Well, I guess there have been a handful of reactions. It depends on the individual for that, like whether or not my actions made them think that what I did was right or what the police did was right or wrong. You know, it depends on the individual. And besides, it's tough for me to answer that at all because I can't say what it was like before I was there. You know what I mean?
Did anything change as a result, though, in terms of policy? I mean, it seemed like they were just kind of stretching to say that you couldn't be in there, where really you probably had legal ground to be there. I mean,
yeah. Well, my observation was that the police and the bureaucrats would often rely on their just like stern voice of being like, well, this is what I'm telling you, so you better obey. And that wasn't, yeah, that was the only thing that really changed, was that they would just, they would assert things and say, well, I just told you what the federal law is. You know, you better obey that. They can do whatever they want. I don't know if anything is, I don't know if, I'm trying to think of an example of where they've like backed off. If anyone can help me think of like an example where the bureaucrats in Keene said, well, maybe we shouldn't. I can think of some examples when I've been in cars, pulled over, and have been in the car in Keene. We've got like 5 activists in the car, all with video cameras rolling, and the cops are like, all right, not gonna pursue this one today. You guys have a good day. Just go along. that's sort of a win there.
And you were acting as a member of the press, so I mean, did any, First Amendment rights groups, press groups come to your rescue? I mean, that.
I
worked out to them. I mean,
I worked for the ACLU and raised a bunch of money for them, and I would think that they would be ready to jump to my aid for something like this, but they're not really interested in cases like that I've noticed. And Pete, you had something that you were.
Yeah, I was just going to add. I mean, some of the impact too is not just necessarily like the bureaucrats in Keene, but also like people who are familiar with what happened to Derrick and his story, and who've seen this video and followed along. I mean, there's been I don't know how many thousands of people that are familiar with it who have been inspired by his activism, and have probably seen the results like being a peaceful person versus an aggressor can have. But I guess my question is, what suggestions do you have for other folks who might find themselves in similar situations?
Record, get video. Video is an objective record of what's happening. And so, given what you've seen, given what you know about how police will lie in court to cover their own mistakes, it's very important that you capture what's happening around you in an objective way. So video is number one. I think that would be like the standard of get video. There are other things that you can do depending on what kind of person you are, like stand your ground or learn the laws, whatever makes sense to you. I'm not terribly interested in learning all the laws. I know in my heart what's right and wrong. So I'm not gonna go and research, well, am I allowed to film here? I'll take my chances. What's up?
Since they got the tank,
oh yeah.
has the tank been used for anything?
I haven't
As
seen
far as
it.
you know?
No, I haven't seen it come out. They have plans for it to be rolled through in the 4th of July parade. I think they're play their songs and throw out some red carpet for the thing. I don't know what they'll do, but yeah, I think it's pretty much for show. That was it wasn't totally explained, but it was a $300,000 grant from the Department of Homeland Security, which was used to purchase this tank. And it's not the only one in the country. It's one of 200 that currently exist, and more are being rolled out. So hopefully Tanks But No Tanks can serve as a model for other towns to follow. Hopefully they'll be more successful than Keene was. And I heard just today that Berkeley refused a tank. The people of Berkeley were successful in saying no. And that's great. Hopefully the momentum flows more in that direction. Yeah. Hey.
Hi, Derrick.
Hey.
Do you think it was worth it for the cost now that it's all through and done? Would you do it again?
Well, the full cost hasn't been paid. I've still got my sentence over my head, and a year and 6 months to go. So hopefully the cost has been paid, and that I don't land up in jail again. But obviously, I was arrested while riding my bicycle down the road and hadn't committed any crime. I could be arrested for looking at a cop wrong. So I'm avoiding the cops today. I'm in New Hampshire at my own risk today because I couldn't stay away from Liberty Forum. I'll be at Pork Fest. These events are very important. And Keenvention also, which I hope you'll attend. It's November 1st to the 3rd this year, first ever. And yeah, but is it worth it? Has it been worth it? Yeah, for sure. I'm so happy when I want more peaceful resistance to happen. I want, that's why I moved to Keene. I was like, other people are peacefully resisting. I didn't have the courage to do that myself until I came to a place where other people were doing it and I could know that I have support. And so hopefully more people will do that and follow the laws that's written on their heart, because then I think we'll have a more peaceful world.